Hello everyone and welcome back to another Starfield ship mod showcase. So this is the U.S.S. Enterprise 1701 from Star Trek Beyond. This took me and another gentleman, same guy, about a month to get done. On that note, I do need to give out credit where credit is due. The base model and textures came from a guy by the name of Alexander Clem. He was kind enough to provide the model and the textures. He made all of this from scratch. Very talented. It's very detailed. So very big thank you to him. Without any of the model and the textures, obviously none of this would have been done. Special thanks to Ronan Spec Ops for fixing the textures, the model, and the collision so that it would work in Starfield. So big thank you to him. Thank you to, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, Mataliha for the ramps and the cockpit. I used the ramps from the Melita's aerospace mod and the cockpit from that mod to get the desired effect. The ramps are needed for the neck portion, otherwise there was clipping, so big thank you to her, if it's a girl or a guy, I don't know, for that. And then again, just like with the Normandy, big thank you to Electionis for the invisible NIF that we used for the landing bay. So with that being said, this does have full collision, more or less. There's a few spots that don't because of the way that the collision was implemented, but overall, if you want to walk around on this thing, you can. Very high quality. If you want to really inspect, then that's a thing you can do. So, we're going to move that out of the way. This is a huge ship. This thing, I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm pretty sure it dwarfs the UC Vigilance, just for comparison on the size. This thing's very big. It is the biggest ship in my fleet by far. We're going to start off at the bottom and we're going to work our way up. Starting at the very bottom, go ahead and put your JJ 1701 landing bay. All the pieces should be available at any vendor. It should not matter. I did go through and make sure that all of the line that restricts certain pieces, it shouldn't be an issue, but it might be, so just keep that in mind. Still pretty new to modding. But anyways, put down the JJ 1701 landing bay, and then on top of that, and you want it to snap to the front, I've put a Stroud Workshop 2x1. Keep in mind, all this is really modular, so you do want to keep this general shape for the snap points for it to snap, and I'll show you all that a little bit later. But you don't have to do, exactly as I have this, because this thing is so big. You could do a lot more than what I have. So we've got the landing bay and the Stroud Workshop. Above that, I've put the Stroud Engineering Bay 3x1. And then above that, I've got a Stroud Computer Core 2x1 and then another Stroud Computer Core 2x1. On top of that, I've got the Stroud Science Lab 2x1, the Stroud Infirmary 2x1, and the Stroud All-in-One Berth 2x1B. On top of that, we had the Stroud Control Station 2x1, and on either side, we have two Horizon weapon mounts, and then on the weapon mounts, they're hard to see. I put the X-Wing S torpedo, proton torpedo. That's from a different mod, so put in some missile launchers if you want, or whatever else you have. That's not necessarily needed, but that's what I put in there. We've got the Stroud Living Quarters 2x1 behind that, Stroud All-in-One Berth 3x1, and then the Stroud Premium Edition Armory. That's a mod. If you don't have that, just put the normal Stroud Armory in there if you want, or Deimos or whatever. The halves you can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. On top of this top section at the very front, We have the JJ-1701 impulse thruster. These are the engines. Behind that, we have the JJ-1701 fuel tank. Behind that, we have the JJ-1701 warp drive. This is the grav drive. Behind that, we have the JJ-1701 warp core. This is the reactor. And then finally, we have the JJ-1701 shield generator. So there's all the pieces that you need just for a standard ship. And then notice on the third piece right here, a third snap point above the Stroud all-in-one berth, we have the Stroud Premium Edition companionway. Again, if you don't have that mod, just get yourself a normal companionway. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Linking to that, we have the JJ-1701 ramp, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those leading up to the saucer section. Okay? That's all there is. That's what's there. This does need to be in this correct spot, so you cannot move any of the ramps or this 1x1. You could put a 1x2 right here if you want instead of the 1x1. I didn't want to do that, but you can if you want. But these ramps do need to be specifically placed right here. In front of that, I have the Stroud Premium Edition Mess Hall B. And then I've got the Stroud Premium Edition Infirmary 2x1, Stroud Premium Edition Armory, Stroud Control Station 2x1, Stroud Control Station 2x1, and then I have the JJ-1701 bridge that comes with this mod. And then on top of this first control station, we have a equipment plate with the Eradicator 75 MeV neutron beam. Okay. Find your armory right here, or perhaps the second 2x1 on the saucer section. And we're going to look at the right-hand side. We've got a Hope Tech Hab cross brace. And then we have the Stroud Premium Edition Living Quarters B 2x2. Behind that, on the right-hand side, we have an all-in-one berth Stroud 3x1. We've got the Stroud Premium Edition Captain's Quarters 2x1 aft in front. And then we have a Stroud mid-bracer connected to that with an equipment plate and the Riza 10 PHC UV pulse laser. Connected next to that, we have another Stroud mid-bracer with the equipment plate and the Riza 10 PHC UV pulse laser again. Connecting to the living quarters, we have a Hope Tech Hab cross brace with another Stroud Premium Edition Living Quarters A this time. This one's the B, this one's the A. A little bit different. We have a Stroud Premium Edition Companionway 1x1 right here, and then a Stroud Premium Edition Living Space 2x2. And notice on this back right corner, we've got an equipment plate with the Eradicator 75 MeV neutron beam. And then up front here, we have the Melita Aerospace ship bar deck. You don't have to have that. Again, that's a mod. You don't have to have any of this technically, and I'll show you all that in a minute. But we then have the Hope Tech Hab cross brace with our Connector Pro Docker starboard. You are going to want to put your Docker either here or over here, right here, maybe right here. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It might actually be out here. This does clip a little bit. That is intended. This is just a vanilla Docker. I didn't put a custom Docker in because I got this one to work, and the fewer pieces that are needed, the easier it is for the game to handle. So yeah, so that's the right hand side of the ship. Now let's move on to the left. We've got Hope Tech Hab cross brace, and then we have the Stroud Control Station 2x1 with the Stroud Premium Edition Battle Stations 2x2. On the back right corner, we have an equipment plate with the Riza 10 PHC UV pulse laser. And then we've got a Hope Tech Hab cross brace again connected to the Stroud Control Station we have Stroud Computer Core 2x1 with the Stroud Computer Core 2x2. So there's a computer core up here. We have a Hoptech Hab cross brace again, and we've got a Stroud Control Station 2x1, and it's linked to a Stroud Brig 2x2 in the brig, or on the brig rather. We have the equipment plate and the Reza 10 PHC UV pulse laser on the back right corner, and then on the top left corner we have an equipment plate with the Eradicator 75 MeV neutron beam. We have one more Hoptech Hab cross brace right here that links to a 1x1 Stroud companionway, and that then links to the Stroud cargo hull 2x2. So that's how I have my primary Enterprise set up. Once you have this built, this is very important. Make sure you select everything. Grab it. Make sure it lines up where this fits inside of the saucer section for the Enterprise, and then you're going to want to move the Habs inside of the Enterprise just like that, and then it snaps on right there. You can see these bottom snap pieces on the bottom of the Enterprise on that blue section right there where you see the circle cursor right there. Make sure that lines up like that. Do not try to put the Enterprise fuselage over the Habs. It won't snap correctly. I don't know why it does that. The best you're going to get is something like that. See, it will not snap. I don't know why. I don't understand. So grab your Habs and then snap them inside of the fuselage just like that. And then this is just a structural piece. You can go, actually, you know what, I can go ahead and come on, hit accept. I'll actually show y'all with this one. This is a different Enterprise that I made. We're going to delete that. Here's another layout that you can do. If you don't want all the Habs on the bottom, you do need to put a bunch of mid-bracers, Stroud or Deimos, to snap the Enterprise into place. It uses one of these, I think it's these two right here, it uses to snap. So just make sure that you don't just have this all blank down here. You do need to put something down here. But this is another, way that you can do this. It's got completely different Habs. It's got a completely different bridge on it, and you can, put that there if you want to. This does fit inside of the fuselage, but let me go to the structural and I'll actually show you where that is. If you go down to the Nova section, you'll see the Nova bracer. If you have the M9 Tempest or the Normandy, then you'll see both of those. But you'll see the bracer, and if you don't have the Tempest or the Normandy, you'll see this showing up next. And notice it does spawn in pretty low, so you're going to want to move that up to where it clips into the Habs. And then again, just select, grab, and drop. Ta-da! And see, now I've got the that Docker on the opposite end. So you don't have to follow the guide exactly. That's entirely up to you. Okay? Play around with it. See what you can make. I'd be more than happy to see people, use different Habs and whatnot and really customize the Enterprise to their liking. So that is the Enterprise. Pretty self-explanatory. This thing does have collision, although it's not perfect. We could not get the collision to work when we were exporting the actual model itself. It just would not work. It was too high quality. So we actually had to make a new NIF file, and that comes from running Spec Ops. He made the NIF collision file for this to actually have collision. So again, I mean, he knows, I'm sure, but very big thank you to him for getting a lot of this stuff organized for me, because I'm still learning a lot. But as you just saw, this has collision right here. You can run on this, it's fine. This has collision. The nacelles up top have collision. The saucer does have collision, although it's not entirely perfect. Like right here, I had to use a collision plane in the creation kit to get that to work. Same thing with this piece. Here you're going to just kind of float, because this is not actual collision on the model itself. It's collision added after the fact. So, yeah, see, you got a little bit of clipping right here, but that's okay. But once you go out here, this does have actual collision on it. I'm just kind of showing y'all the collision because that took the longest amount of time. It took forever to get the collision to work. So that was very frustrating, but I'm very glad that it works. Okay, so just like the Normandy, it's got an invisible landing bay. You just kind of go down the center of the ship and you'll find it. I actually think I placed this, there it is. I think I placed this one better than I did the Normandy, so it should be a little bit easier to find, but there it is, roughly right there. Okay, that's about where you want to be for the landing bay. We're going to board it, and I'm going to show y'all the inside of the ship now. We're going to have just a
ready to take off, Captain.
Very brief tour of the inside of this ship. By the way, if you want to get another mod of mine, I didn't do a mod showcase of this, but this here, the Constellation Fleet uniforms, I did an overhaul with that and gave the Constellation members the Fleet uniform, so that's what they wear now by default. Works pretty good with this one, I think. Here's your computer cores right here. Nothing too crazy with this. Just gotta try to very quickly go through most of this. Here's the, what is this, science lab? Yeah, science lab, sure. Infirmary. All in one berth, I think. I think that's what that is. Oh, yeah. I know this is here. I think that's the actual snap point that lets all this snap together. I'm not worried about it. You can, not put habs here if you're worried about that. Let's see. Okay. This is the top, I think. Yeah, here's the top. Okay. Good. Armory right there. Here's our 1x1, and then here's the ramps that Melita allowed me to use. Again, very thankful. That's part of the saucer. To remove that, we would have to redo the entire mod. This gave us enough issues as is. We're not going to do that again. You can clip through it. It's fine. Minor thing. I'm not worried about it. Here's the mess hall. We can open this up. Now we've got the infirmary. And we have the armory, and then we've got our habs that go across here. Here's one of the living quarters. Captain's cabin right here. There's the all-in-one berth. Here's more living quarters. I believe this is, yeah, this is a 1x1. Links to the, I want to say living quarters, but that's not right. Whatever this thing is, it's part of the Stroud Premium Edition. And then here's Melita's bar thing that I put on. Again, you don't have to have any of this. You can use the Enterprise with straight vanilla habs. I want to make that absolutely clear. You don't have to have any of these other habs for this to work. Okay, there we go. So there's that side. Let's go back through. And this is the way I have it set up. It's very easy to navigate. That's why I did things the way I did. And yes, there's a lot of space that's completely wasted, but you don't really need too much more than this unless you have custom habs. Here's the battle stations right here. Control station here. Computer core, which leads to the other computer core, the big one, right here. And then control station leads to the brig. And then we have this 1x1 that leads to our storage area. So I think all that is left should just be, nope, that's the wrong one, hang on. I always end up going one too soon. Okay, we've got a control station right here, another control station, and voila, we have the bridge. So here it is. Here's the Enterprise bridge. The interior, again, that's Melita. The exterior is Melita. All the chairs and stuff, though, these monitors, all this, I manually placed all of that because the whole idea was I wanted to simulate the actual bridge itself. And if I can find a good bridge model of the actual Enterprise and figure out how to import it, I might. You know, so if someone wants to make that or find me one that I'm able to use, you know, I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, here it is in third person. Really nice, really big. Be warned, I've ran into a bug, and it's with the engine itself. It's not with, here, let's go ahead and take off. It's with the game engine itself. It's not with this mod. Sometimes the camera will be right up on the Enterprise. And if that happens, all you have to do, go to the shipbuilder and then highlight everything.
Achieving orbit now.
And change one of the colors. And you will be good to go. That's how you fix it. But here it is in space. It flies. And yes, I am aware there are no effects on this ship. That is intended. When you look at the Enterprise in movies and whatnot, generally speaking, unless it's going to warp, it does not have any flame effects or anything like that. So that's part of the design choice for this ship. Okay? But this is how it should look. And then here's the first-person view from the cockpit. All of the weapons work. It's not super fast. I mean, it's not slow, but it's not super fast, unlike the Normandy. Again, very big ship, and that is part of the point. So, anyways, with that being said, that's the mod. We are now going to move on to the demonstration of the combat and whatnot, and I'll see you guys over there. Alright, hope y'all enjoy the mod. Thanks for downloading and, watching the tutorial and whatnot.